All right, in other news, it was a big win for Donald Trump, right, Griff?
That's right. Out in California, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. This is a very liberal court, mind you. The panel finding that the president was correct. He has the authority to deploy the National Guard. And they really were unanimous in deciding this, simply saying that their review of it is that under U.S. Code 10, the president has the authority to deploy the National Guard when regular forces aren't able to enforce U.S. law.
Here's a Truth Social post, big one in the Ninth Court of Appeals, on the president's core power to call in the National Guard. The judges obviously realize that Gavin Newsom is incompetent and ill-prepared, but this is as much bigger than Gavin, because all over the United States, in our cities, and our people need protection. We are the ones to give it to them should state and local police be unable, for whatever reason, to get the job done. This is a great decision for our country, and we will continue to protect and defend law-abiding citizens. Congratulations to the Ninth. America is proud. Now, keep in mind, too, that's a message to Chicago, to Seattle, to Portland. Because if your city loses control, I now have constitutionally, I have the go-ahead to go in there with my men and women in the National Guard. I'll take them from you and use them to protect your city. This is what he felt as though maybe he could have done better in his last term when things went crazy after the George Floyd riots.
Well, they're called the National Guard, and the President of the United States is the ruler of the nation. So he has made a decision to send in the National Guards to L.A. after those protests. It was getting so unruly. It was very dangerous. People in the community had to shut down their businesses.
Because of ICE, ICE needs some protection.
Absolutely. ICE was arresting illegal immigrants who were criminals. And so people were upset about it. They needed more protection. Gavin Newsom wasn't doing the job, so President Trump sent in more troops.
And that's a good point, Ainsley. It's important to note that ICE says 75% of those people that they're arresting have criminal records, many of them violent. Meanwhile, Gavin Newsom's not backing down. He's firing back, tweeting this, saying Donald Trump is not a king and not above the law. Tonight, the court rightly rejected Trump's claim that he can do whatever he wants with the National Guard and not have to explain himself to a court. We will not let this authoritarian use of military soldiers against citizens go unchecked. He's on the wrong side of the courts. Not even a liberal Ninth Circuit court is going to take his side. Maybe he just sees a political gain out of it and he's doubling down.
I just can't wait for his Substack column where he can expand on it and overcome the noise. Either that or his podcast. I've never seen a governor so disinterested in being governor while being governor. Meanwhile, they did do a Fox poll, and the 47% approve of the National Guard's presence in these cities. 52% are against it. So polling-wise, it's not as popular. When asked about who's got favorable opinion, Donald Trump's got more favorable 45 than Gavin Newsom's 39. So it might not be the most popular thing for the population. I think it's absolutely necessary for the cities and for the small businesses. However, the National Guard does have to sit with federal buildings. Think about this. You have in New Jersey, we have escaped illegal immigrants in a facility. They get out. Then they finally realize they're on the land. They report themselves to these two escaped illegals. They report themselves to the state cops. The state cop says, we will not bring you back to the facility. We were told not to cooperate with ICE. That's how bad it is. We have law enforcement not supporting law enforcement. That's why you need the National Guard.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.